What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today we're going to be visiting something a little bit older that we haven't played in a while, just because I've got the itch. And so I wanted to do like a little bit of an Interloper survival kind of tutorial to playing Interloper for people on the internet in the Long Dark. You guys will know that the Long Dark is one of my favorite games of all time. I love the hell out of this game. I've played it probably far too much. I still continue to stream it pretty frequently, even to this day over at Twitch TV/Splattercat Gaming. I do stream every single day, and this game probably shows up every 2 weeks or so. Like, I'll end up starting a new Interloper run, just because I find it to be really, really fun. For those of you that don't know, Interloper is the hardest difficulty in the Long Dark, and it requires kind of like a lot of metagame knowledge about the game, and it also requires a lot of know-how and sort of abusing game systems in order to get it to work properly, because the game is not fair on Interloper, nor is it intended to be fair. It used to say that in the description for Interloper. It used to say that, like, this is not fair or balanced or whatever, and you were supposed to expect that. Now it's actually a lot more balanced than it used to be. It's actually like a full-on gameplay mode, but it still requires a bit of skill, a bit of luck, and a bit of temperance in order to do it properly. And I've probably put about 300 hours into this game, maybe 350, and almost all of it has been on Interloper. And so anyways, I wanted to share some of that knowledge with you here today. I'll try to go through and talk about the things that I'm doing and why I'm doing them as we play. And aside from that, we'll just try to have a good time in the survival-y world of the Long Dark. I've got a couple of badges right there, so we'll get our stamina recharge. We got free runner right there. We'll get it going. All right, so let's see where we get. A mysterious geomagnetic storm has brought down your plane, crashing into the northern Canadian wilderness. How long can you survive? Probably a while. On Interloper, I can last a while. Kind of depends on what zone we get, and it looks like we got Muskeg? Pleasant Valley. Oh, sorry. I thought I was on the hillside to, like, the south end of the forlorn Muskeg. Orientation is a very big deal in this game. Like, knowing where you are and where you're heading tends to be a really good plan. I think I know where I am. I think if I go that way, we'll find shelter. I think. Like, I don't know that for certain, but I've got a pretty good idea where I am right now. We're like all the way down at the end of the map. Now, there may be wolves and things around. We'll probably want to be careful about that. It's only 2 down cold right now. The UI at the bottom of the screen, we have our coldness, we have our stamina, we have our hydration, and we have our hunger. And then the bottom left, we have our overall status. If the bottom left goes all the way down to 0, obviously we die. You know how health bars work. You've been playing video games for a long time. We are going to need some dinner if we hang out around here. And these cattail stalks are going to be a perfect candidate. So let's go ahead and grab those. Good stuff. All right, and so dinner has been secured. It's not much dinner. It's only a little dinner, but it's better than no dinner. Something in the stomach right before you go to sleep, it helps. I don't know if you've ever tried to go to sleep on an empty stomach before, but it is not easy when you're sitting there just tummy grumbling because you haven't eaten today. It's a rough one. It does not feel good. I believe that if I head this way, we will find our way to a farm. And so I'm going to set off with this heading right here until I see something that's familiar. We will want to get indoors about as soon as possible. Nighttime is almost here, and nighttime is certain death if we stay out. And so we want to find a place where we can be right now. I'm going to grab that real fast too, just in case we need some fire or some kindling or anything else like that. We've got ourselves a little tiny hut/shack over on that side. We've also got another one right there. I kind of like vaguely know where I am right now. I'm trying to orient real fast by finding landmarks. Some people have just like a natural sense of direction. Other people are landmark oriented, and there's actually research that goes to show there's 2 different brain types, with people that navigate by landmarks and people that can just like navigate just by gut feel. It has to do with the way your brain is configured. Left side, right side, all that kind of stuff. And I am very much a landmark navigator. Like, I need to have, like, landmarks. If I can find landmarks, I can find my way anywhere. Even if the landmark is just, like, a tiny little spire on top of that mountain right there, I can use that to navigate, like, all day long and find back to where I'm trying to go. But, that being said, if I don't have that, it can turn into a little bit of a fustercluck. It's a little cold out here. We got a deer corpse over there. Not really interested in investigating the deer corpse right now because we don't have the means to get after it anyways. Yeah, I know, man. I know. I think that right there is the beginning of the orchard that I'm looking for. So there's like an apple orchard out here or something like that, and it's got like a very large farmhouse on the side of it. And the very large farmhouse is actually a fantastic place. This is one of my favorite starts to the game. It can be a little bit challenging. At the same time, this place right here provides you with some very, very serious opportunities as far as gearing up your character goes nice and early. And if you can make that happen early on in the game, it'll make your survival much easier. This is also a very, very withdrawn zone, and it's not a zone that you can get to easily from all the other zones. Especially since in Interloper, the weather gets worse and worse and worse. Day by day, it gets colder. And so your goal is to try and get ahead of that coldness curve. If you can have full crafted like deer skin, bear skin, wolf skin outfits by the time the temperature starts to get really, really nasty, your survival is basically ensured. However, if you get behind on that curve, you're not going to die like instantly or anything like that, but your survival is going to be incredibly challenging, and you're going to struggle a little bit while you try to make up for that lost gap. On this side, we've got, that's the farmhouse I was looking for right there. I had a feeling I was going in the right direction. I had a funny feeling I was going the right way. There may be wolves out here, though, so we'll want to watch out for that. As you can see, my overall health has begun to deteriorate because I am far too cold right now. Not feeling so good in the tum-tum at the moment. Now, this place has a couple of good spots that we definitely want to check out. So let's get inside before it gets dark because the sun is going down. One of the unfortunate things about our bad luck in this playthrough is that we started out with a nighttime run. However, this place is nice and warm, and we can just ride it out. Hey, a ragged sport vest. Nice. And a baseball cap, not really that helpful, but hey, every little bit contributes. Because I don't have a light source going through this place, we're going to have to do it very, very carefully. You should always check up underneath chairs and stuff like that. Sometimes there's like matches or food or other things that you may need. There you go, like there's a book right there. We'll take that. I don't see anything on that shelf right there. Nothing on the top of that one. On the table, doesn't look like we have much else but cutlery. All right. By the fireplace, do we have anything over here? We have a book. Okay. Not a super useful item, but they do burn real, real good. So, if it comes down to it and we need to light a fire, well, come on, baby, light that fire. We're going to have it taken care of. There's a backpack on that chair right there. Nothing. Okay. Down that way, looks like we've got nothing up underneath there. A very, very important part of your survival is going to be looting a toilet for water. If you're not near a toilet, you're going to have to find matches or a flare or some way to light a fire before the first night. Otherwise, you're going to die of dehydration within the next, like, 24 to 32 hours. We've also got a mending kit right there, a sewing kit. That's really, really useful. Anything inside the medicine cabinet? Nothing. Anything inside the drawer? Nothing. We'll come back for that cloth a little bit later. As of right now, I don't think it's going to be that useful to us. But if we find some extra time, we'll give it a go. Let's search some of the cabinets and see if we can find ourselves some victuals that are a little bit better than the cattail stocks that we've picked up so far. If we do find something like that, it'd be a nice change if I could find like some crackers or anything else that mean, hey, a Summit soda. Okay, that'll work. Pinnacle peaches right there in the sink. I actually thought that that was an empty can like that one right there. It's a good thing I decided to mouse over it just in case. It was label side down, so it was hard to tell that it was Pinnacle peaches. Normally they pop out at you with the colorfulness of the can, but not that time around. Nothing inside of there. We've got a couple of cooking pots, though, which is great because recently they added, there's a note right there, but we're not really going to, well, I'll show you the notes. Why not? We can read the text. Bread is about 2 parts flour to 1 part water. Add equal parts salt and rising agent, a small pile about the size of a quarter. Yeast if you're lucky, baking soda if you're not. Raw dough should be tacky but not wet after kneading. Heat at 400 F, 200 C for 30 minutes if the oven works. If you only have a fire, dip the dough in a heavy preheated pan and rotate every 10 minutes until evenly brown, and you hear a hollow sound when tapping the crust. Okay. I guess we just learned how to make bread, I suppose. You know, I thought this place always had matches in it for some reason. I think it does, but I think it's down. Oh, wow. There's a venison steak in there. Holy shit, dude. That was a come up right there. We just got lucky. That's a pretty major find for Interloper. If you don't play Interloper, like, that's the stuff right there. Ooh, driving gloves. Okay, and another sport vest. Anything inside of here? This is why I like this start. This place is a really good place to start out if you're into the clothing game and you want to get ahead of the coal curve with clothing. I found all kinds of good stuff inside of here. I've gotten like Mackinac jackets, which are the best jackets you can get in this difficulty. I've gotten some pretty sweet stuff. I've gotten ski parkas that were hidden up underneath beds. Like, I've gotten stuff that has carried me for the first couple of weeks really, really well. And that should explain to you why it's my favorite place to start off. This place is just a loot trove. It's really, really good if you get lucky. If you aren't lucky, then, you know, it's no worse than anywhere else. You probably just won't get anything. What's inside this backpack right here? Nothing. Anything under the bed? There is something on that shelf right there. Hey, a granola bar. Sweet. Was there anything up there? I thought I saw something sitting right there, but it might have just been the shading of the wall. Search this drawer too. Nothing. Let's go to our inventory and let's get some of this gear equipped. So we've got ourselves both of these vests are in pretty bad shape, but every little bit of warmth retention is something that like I'm okay with. And so even if it's only like 0.2 C, everything helps out. So you might as well just throw it on real quick. Like, ooh, we got more water too. Nice, man. That's going to save me a whole bunch of time because normally you got to spend time boiling water in the beginning of the game. And we've got a drawer right here. We've got a medical cabinet right here. This family, whoever lived out here, is like remarkably well stocked on medical supplies. I'm going to give them that. Like, my house had like one med kit. I have a med kit right now. I have like an OSHA med kit that's like supposed to be hung on like a factory wall or whatever inside my closet just in case. It's got everything from like vague surgical supplies to like, you know, normal gauze and bandages and stuff like that of every type. It's got like scissor splints and all those kinds of things, or like the scissor bandages and all those things. I don't know if I'll ever need it, but you know, it's better to have one and not need one than need one and not have one. Don't think there's anything in there, but man, that darkness is really starting to creep in, isn't it? It's starting to get dark in here. And without a light source, something tells me that that's not going to be super engaging for watching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tool around a little bit, and I'll probably just wait here till morning. You guys are free. I'm going to make a cut real fast, and we'll probably just come back. I'm going to tear down the curtains, get some cloth and stuff ready to go so that we can repair our clothing. Keeping your clothing in good repair is a major part of a Interloper success run, in case you were curious about that. Like making sure everything is always at 100%, never lower than 75%. A really, really good plan. And so that's one of my tips right there, is that you should always be trying to keep yourself at least kind of stocked up on like cloth and sewing materials and things of that nature. Alright, so I bypassed a little bit of time, and I also panned through the house to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I did. I missed a plaid shirt. And so we've got a plaid shirt on now. We are a true Canadian, hanging out in the Canadian North. We probably want to wait for this storm to piss off. So I'm going to wait for the weather to get a little bit better and for the sun to come up. We are going to be hungry during this Interloper playthrough, so please don't let me know that my hunger meter is empty. It's meant to be empty. One of the big lessons you've got to learn as an Interloper player, I probably shouldn't have passed time right there, actually. I probably could have spent that time repairing my clothing. That would have been the smarter way to do it. So let's repair this plaid shirt right here and get it up to a plus 0.5. There we go. So it should be a plus 0.5 now. This down vest, I think it goes up to like a 1.0. But yeah, so for Interloper, what you really want to do is you always want to leave your hunger at 0. Because over the course of like an entire day, you'll lose about 10% status by leaving your hunger at 0. But if you eat before you sleep, you'll get about 25-30% back. So as you can see, it's a great way to conserve food and just make sure, oh really, I thought that the sports vest had maybe it's the down vest that has the 1.0. There are some things we can do while we wait for the storm to pass. I'm not a big fan of like navigating in storms. I tend to just wait them out if I can. So for example, this kind of nonsense right here, this is not the weather that you want to be out in. We don't get this weather where I live. The last time it snowed was in the late 80s where I live. It just doesn't snow here. We're at too low of altitude. And so, you know, we don't get this weather. I think I might poop bricks if I ever saw weather like this where I live. Then again, with global warming and whatnot, it's possible. There's going to be some shifts. Maybe I'll see snow someday. Let's get down into the basement. You don't want to miss this place. A lot of people miss this basement on this house. The reason you want to come down here is because matches. These are your lifeline right here. If you don't have matches, you are dead in Interloper. It's officially over for you if you don't have matches, because then you can't make water. You won't be able to warm yourself up in an emergency. We don't have a pry bar for that right there. If we get lucky, though, there will be a tool down here, like a hacksaw maybe. There's also dryers and washers you can go through. Decent thermal underwear. Perfect. Yep, some long johns will get us going. Long johns are actually a fairly important find. We've also got a whetstone right there. It looks like we've got a set of quality tools. The storm has decided to finally go away, which is great. It was a long one. Scrap metal, very important for later on, and I'll explain why as we get further into the playthrough. I'm going to go through these right here, see what we find a little bit. What have we got going on? Nothing. But we do want to put on the long johns. The long johns are like huge. That's just extra insulation. We're almost at +5 right now. I prefer to be around like +10, +11 in Interloper. We don't have a hammer down here. Sometimes there's a crate right there with a hammer on top of it. So we are toolless at the moment. We don't have a hacksaw. We don't have a pry bar. We don't have any of that good stuff. But maybe someday. Someday, when my life has passed me by, I'll lay around and wonder why you didn't give me a hacksaw. And so now, really what I would recommend is our visibility is kind of bad. Two options for right now. There's a signal station that's way up at the top of the hill over there. In the signal station, you can find some very good boots, some very good gloves, a cache of food, maybe a flare. You can find some good stuff up inside of there, but it is risky going after it. Bad things can happen. There's kind of a bear nest, like, right underneath it. A bear's den, I suppose you would call it. And the bear does not like it when you go over there sometimes. Other times you go over there and there's no bear at all. And so, honestly, I would really prefer to have visibility right now if that's what we're going to do. I don't like the fact that I can't see. I don't like the fact that I'm kind of flying blind right now with regards to that kind of just muggy mist that we have going on. And so I'll probably head up there soon, but not now. Nothing inside of there. Okay, so that was a bust. There's also another place out here, I think. But I believe we're at the furthest place right now. I think stuff spawns on these picnic tables sometimes. Well, there's a lump of coal right there. Apparently I've been naughty. You can't get inside the silo. But, you know, one thing at a time. Let's repair our clothes for a little bit. Make the best use of your time. If nothing, this game is kind of about time management. It's about making sure that you're doing the things you need to do with the time that you have allotted before it's too late. And so there we go. We'll drink a little bit of water. We are going to get really, really thirsty before this gets better. Unfortunately, we've only got 2 liters of water, but we do have matches, which means we can boil water if we get desperate and we really, really need to. I want to repair this sweatshirt for right now. Let's give that a go. Get my heat index up ever so slightly as well. Oh, really? That took a full hour. How's the weather looking right now? There we go. Now we got visibility. There's our station right there, and that's what I'm going to go after. Now, our stamina's a little bit bad right now. This may be a sizable gamble for me to go after. This might be a bad plan. It might be a good plan. I don't know, but I always like to hit this place because the fact of the matter is I'm probably never going to be in Pleasant Valley ever again. Once I leave this zone, I don't tend to come back. I tend to survive in the Muskeg and in Mystery Lake. Those tend to be the 2 zones where I hole up. Mystery Lake has fantastic fishing, and that's normally how I subsist, is just by fishing a lot and hanging out there once I have all the things that I need. It's got lots of deer. You can hunt them. It's got a bear. It's got a moose spawn. Basically, it's the perfect zone if you're just trying to farm out goodies. Oh, we got a couple of rabitos over here. All right. Let's see if we can doink one of them with a rock here. Nope. The answer to that question was a resounding no. I tried really hard, but I was off to the side. Let me see if maybe... Hey, got him with the ricochet anyways. But, you know, a Ricky's just as good as a hit. Go ahead and take care of him real fast, and we got ourselves dinner. We've also got ourselves a little side project as well. Just in case. If I could grab 2 of them, that'd be even better, actually. I'd be super glad and very, very thankful if I could grab a couple conies right now. So let's go ahead and do it.
So cold.
Got him. Perfect. It takes some practice. If you're not good at hitting rabbits, you're going to have to get on that. Like, that's not going to be avoidable in Interloper. There is no gun in Interloper, and you do get a bow, but the truth of the matter is 90% of what you're going to be eating in Interloper is going to be rabbit. You're going to be eating a lot of rabbit and a lot of cattail stock. Rabbit is the most, like, it's basically the easiest accessible meal on most maps. I've had 5 to 6 rabbits in my backpack before while just traveling around. Be careful, though, because the more dead animals you carry around with you, the more smell you have on you. The more smell you have on you, the better chance a predator is going to come knocking and try to steal your kill. So keep that in mind. We've got a climbing rope right there. That's why I kind of wanted my stamina to be a little bit higher, just in case. Oh, I thought that was a bear right there, that gray. I got a little bit worried. I got a little bit scared for my safety. Is the bear over here? God, I hope the bear's not over here. I don't hear him. Oh, no, there he is. There he is. We're going to have to sneak around this dude. But I'm trying to do it like in a roundabout way so that I don't waste my stamina. He shouldn't attack us unless he gets inside of a certain radius. So don't panic too much about it. He does have a cave right there. There is loot in there from time to time. But I just want to get to the climbing rope. That's all I care about. Hopefully we have the stamina to make it up there. There's rose hips right there. Those are useful. I'm going to have to risk my life for these feathers, though, because feathers are going to be really, really useful once we start making fletching for arrows. And then hopefully we've got the energy level to get up this rope. Our stamina is going to go down at a pretty considerable rate when you climb ropes, so keep that in mind. Your character is going to get tired. It's going to happen. And you've also got to kind of like balance it with your stamina on the right as well. Like stopping on the rope does not make your stamina go back up. And so it's very, very possible to almost summit some of the climbs and then just barely make it and fall off on accident. It occurs every now and again. But that was our first bear escape right there. So good stuff, man. Very, very good stuff. The bear can stay down there in the pit with his lair and be debonair and whatever and stare. I don't really care because I've got a flare for climbing up there. We're going to go over to this side and we're going to go to the way station. And I think that's probably where we'll end up bedding down for the night. We're probably not going to have a lot of choice in that situation. However, that does buy us a little bit of time to break down some of these rabbits. It gives us time to get some of the bits and parts and things going. I don't know if we're going to be able to hike out the hides and the guts. The hides and the guts are useful. But that being taken care of, there's a lot of wolves where we're going, and I just don't want to get myself murdered. Like, I would love to not get gnawed on by some giant Cujo-ass wild animal right now, so I think that's what I'm going to focus on. So yeah, that's the way up to the way station. This has been our first episode of Interloper. Hope you guys liked it. I'm going to sporadically update this. I don't know how frequently videos are going to come out for this series, but it's one of those things that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Kind of an interloper guide for anybody that's not super used to the game, or is maybe just getting into Stalker and struggling a little bit, but has like ambitions of making it up to Interloper one day and kind of becoming one of those permanent survivors on the hardest difficulty. It's definitely possible. It's 100% doable. You've just got to adjust your playstyle. The playstyle is just very, very different between Stalker and Interloper. Stalker is much more of kind of like a run and gun, I can handle all my problems with violence type mode. Interloper is much more pure survival, where you're kind of defenseless. Like, you don't have a lot of things going for you as far as survival is concerned. So anyways, we'll check this place out in the next episode. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for stopping on by. If you liked the video, hit it with a like. I'll appreciate it very, very much. I know this is an older game, and it's probably not going to be super popular, but I've wanted to do it for a while, and so, you know, I wanted to do it before it was too late. Hi, everybody, and I'll see you later.